GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. Action, Dabatola, Toki in the zone. Breaking down the latest, straight to your phone. From Web 2 shifts to Web the waves. News, deep dives, hot takes for days. Tech's evolving, the world's in spin. Markets move, let's lock it in. Genzio's here, no time to snooze. Tune in now, get the news. GM. Wake up, let's go. Web 2, Web 3, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, wake up, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show. GM, let's go. Web 2, stay in the know. GM, start the show.
GM, everyone.
GM.
Welcome to another live stream. And look we have everyone here. Actions in the house. And Toki, you've been here rocking all week last week, though. And yeah.
Cheers.
So we are all here this morning. We were getting rugged a little while ago, and I think we partially still are.
Just on one platform, looks like Arena didn't go through. That's about it. But everywhere else seems like we are live, just waiting for those reposts and people sharing it out so we actually get the crowds in here.
Yeah, we'll
GM.
Get this stuff going.
Let's help out with that.
Fortunately, yeah, everything's been acting up. We're trying to push out to 6 different places at once, and it failed.
It said no.
Yeah, and it's still saying no right now. So I'm going to see what happens here. I'll try to look at Arena here in a second. But we are live on X, which is where a majority of our audience tunes in.
Yeah, but I heard that it's important for you to go ahead and stream to as many locations as possible so you can really dilute that audience as much as you possibly can.
Well, we all know that the majority of people that are tuning in on X usually aren't watching on YouTube or the other platforms. There tends to be a very little crossover.
Serenity, and then you have Down Home Crypto. So
we got a couple.
Oh, it's the same person, and they're on both platforms.
Let's see. I'm trying to get the Arena to fire up, but I don't know what's going on.
It's
Did you try turning it off and turning it back on?
Yeah, I did.
It's telling me to remove it.
No, don't touch it.
I'm not touching it.
Don't touch it.
All right, don't break it. Something
I said
broke
I
last
didn't
time.
break it. I didn't touch anything. My hands are up. Can't touch.
So what's good, everyone? What are you guys? How you guys feeling about the market? We pumped up to about 108 right now for Bitcoin. What do you think? How you feeling?
Hands up.
I guess the question:
Hands up.
how are your alts doing? I know that Bitcoin pumped to 108, but
I gotta be
your
like
alts
that.
do anything?
I don't think alts did anything.
Yeah, that's my
No,
problem.
I mean,
no,
Hey,
they
now.
didn't do anything.
I saw some incredible news.
Okay.
Slum Doge millionaire, or something along those lines, is now Slum Pepe millionaire. So that's good, right? Hey, we're live on Arena. Welcome, guys. GM.
No, we aren't actually.
Oh, well, it says you are.
It does?
For me, it says you are live. Dabatola Arena. companies loading up on Bitcoin. Is
Yeah,
2025 the year of BTC?
it looks like it's but it's not.
It's
I don't
not
know what's going
actually.
on over there. I'll try again in a couple minutes and we'll see what
Wait,
happens.
so what happened with Glauber? What about Pepe?
Oh, there was a news article that came out that not only has he done, Arena's back down. That makes sense. Not only has he made $1 million off of Doge, but he's also made $1 million or has become a millionaire thanks to Pepe as well.
Got it. He's not advertising that though. It's not good for the brand.
I mean, there's a massive article with his face on it.
Sure, but he's not pushing it.
You know what? I'll go check his account. That's a good point.
I just messaged him.
All right. Well, as you guys start messaging people about this, I was going to try to get.
Did you get in one of these nice hats?
I actually did not get one.
Y'all missed it. I'm trying to figure out.
So good.
It does. So this is if I want to get in trouble in California. I got a lot of hats at the conference.
I bet you did.
But my favorite two is either this one from Bell's Coin. So make proof of work great again. I know that Toki's gonna read that as something else.
Yeah, it really threw me off the first few times.
I know. Which makes this one more viable.
I like that one. Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one doesn't confuse as many veterans.
That was literally what the guy said at the conference. I'm probably gonna start doing giveaways again because like people just sent me home with like extra gear. So we'll start doing some giveaways. Definitely, I got an interview with Luke, so I'll definitely give some stuff out there.
Luke Skywalker?
Yes, the one and only. Little awkward, he kissed his sister, but you know. You were asking earlier, Toki, about mining. And
yes, indeed. Especially with driving.
And what did I say to you?
You said you weren't really mining anything.
No, I said nothing.
Just entropy. Oh yeah, you're mining nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing.
It is nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
This is a 5-volt thing, dude. You can just plug it in the car. So I have tested it and it does work. You can mine in your vehicle.
Wait, did they already take down that article?
Which article?
Fake news, Toki? Fake news? Are you pushing fake news again?
Oh, no, I found it. Don't worry, I'll send it to you. Or it's Decrypt Media. 22 hours ago. I'm honestly afraid to touch any of the screens in here in case something fails. So
everything's failing.
Yeah, everything is. I'm even trying on the back end here to get the arena thing open, and it was telling me that we were already streaming. Oh,
it's hilarious.
Let's see if it says waiting for screen share or camera. Let's see if it actually pushes through here in a minute.
What's going on, everybody? Really excited to have you guys experience. What is this calling?
Technical difficulties?
Well, more like trying things out, trying to fix things on air. The technical difficulties you could just ignore, but you know what? We care so much about some other platforms here that we're going to make the whole show about trying to make things work. Kind of like crypto,
especially after that
been
rocky
over a
start.
decade and crap's still broken.
You know, there's always when you tend to get prepared, or you're as prepared as possible, then the thing that you think is not going to happen happens, which is the main system that pushed all the streams out goes down, no matter how prepared we are.
Yeah, it's a great point.
And, you know,
which is why I tend to not prepare, so I just show up and do things
and wing it.
Yeah,
we know
it's way better that way.
And we're actually finally live on Arena.
Hey, it worked. Hey, let me go give you a view on that one.
Yeah, go tune in there and give a view, everyone, as Action just said. But Look at this. We're pushing actually to a little bit of a high for recently here. Now we're back up to 108. Stoked about that. I'd like to see Bitcoin strong and pushing forward. I always have my doubts going into the summer, regardless of the year or the part of the cycle we're in. But the stronger we see Bitcoin do, obviously for anyone holding Bitcoin, that's awesome. We would love to see it pull alts up, but it just has not been doing that. The thing with Bitcoin going up is we need to hope that it kind of goes up and kind of levels off and doesn't have a hard retracement at all, because I don't think alts could take much more. No. Right? At this point, I feel so many people I know are wanting to just break on some of these alts. If they get a little bit ahead this year, cool. Take what they can and then put it into Bitcoin more for the long run. I think this cycle has really put the hurt on a lot of people that I know.
It's
I don't know how you guys
are
feeling, but
no, it's Bitcoin heavy for sure. I mean, I'm struggling with alts right now. Like there's no and if buts. It's just terrible if you're in a lot of alts. Like not gonna say everything, but there's a good chunk of alts out there that are just hurting bad. I think the ones winning are really the minority right now, which is, kind of sad to say, but
what does that include?
The
winners? Which winners?
Yes.
Anything that I don't own.
Oh, okay.
But you said Bitcoin, it's definitely a Bitcoin heavy cycle. We see institutions, companies coming in. It's not like big companies are loading up on meme tokens or whatnot. Let me pull my screen up here. Hopefully I don't break things.
It's kind of funny. Like there are very similar narratives are continuing to work. Same as the previous cycles. Thank you for making me the big guy here on the screen. Example, ICP, for example, is definitely been doing okay. It had a pullback, but it's ripping again. Quant, dude, I made so much money just going back and forth between exchanges and dexes with Quant last main cycle. It was just the price disparity was wild. Injective has been on a pretty decent trajectory lately, and Hype, I know we talked about Hype. It took a bit of a dump, but it's coming back up over the last week, which isn't too bad.
Look at this list of some of the newer companies or newest companies buying Bitcoin in the last couple months. And this is just a list of 20 pretty much. There's a lot more. But this is signaling, I mean, you have a lot of big companies here that are starting to put Bitcoin on their books or adding it to it. And if this continues, like we spoke about last week, there was 61 that hold about 3%. This is going to definitely jump up. This is going to be great for Bitcoin price. I feel that, we're steady going to continue the uptrend. I'd like to see money trickle to alts. I don't feel that happening yet. I still think we still are in a much stronger.
What chains do you
Bitcoin
actually see it moving to?
What are you talking about? L1s? What do you mean?
Do you know what? I'll open the floor to L1s and L2s. I know quite earlier this morning, Scott and I were talking more about SWI, Abstract, a little bit about Solana. We're not going to mention some of the other ones because they're not really worth mentioning for us.
I think the chain really depends on what big is going to pop off. Look, you saw earlier in this year, you saw Trump's meme coin add so much volume to Solana. Solana shot up to near 300 from low twos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you start bringing on, let's just say there's a huge meme coin explosion, a bunch of money comes into that, or RWA, for example. People tokenizing real world assets and bringing millions, hundreds of millions, billions on chain. I think obviously the chains, the underlying, asset there, whether it's Solana, Avalanche, SWI,
really?
and so on. I think those will do well if RWA picks up on it. I have a couple fears though. First is, not everything is going to need to be tokenized. I feel like that's going to end up being an issue. Everyone's going to try to tokenize everything. They're going to use it as a fundraiser, as a, hey,
Yeah.
put
They
some
always
money in,
do.
and we're going to
They
do this.
always
Like,
do.
yeah, and it's going to 90%, 99% of them are going to fail, and in there, a large chunk of them are going to be just cash grab scams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to happen with when people try to over tokenize it and try to sort of take advantage of it. The other thing that I worry about is global economy is just not that strong on your retail, you know. So while you might have companies or the institutional money go into some RWA, I feel like your everyday investor is not having that money to jump on that bandwagon. So while it still will do well, there's still going to be a large percentage of people that are not going to get in early right now just due to the economy. So those sort of things, you know, I think will throw off how much these tokens can grow. But I really feel Bitcoin, this is its year. This is the time that it clearly is going to pull away, further away, in my opinion. And once everyone's kind of over that, we have that Bitcoin's accepted, that the United States is like supportive of it, and maybe there's more regulations and things. Once that goes and that settles, and, you know, I could go to people like, you know, like say my parents' generation and other ones, and them not being like, look at me weird, and them actually consider it, you know, an asset. Then I think it moves to those other altcoins and lower caps. The only ones in there right now are going to be people like us, I think, early on, and who have money already in, and, you know, and as everything moves towards Web3 and going on the blockchain, they're going to have to grow. But I really think that this is
Did you
just
see
a
the
Bitcoin
news
heavy
about
cycle.
Missouri?
Is that supposed to be a joke? I don't know.
No, it's actually
No
it is
offense to
actually-
anyone in Missouri, but what's going on in Missouri? What's going on in Missouri?
They got rid of capital gains taxes in regards to crypto, and I think stocks too.
Now there's going to be an immediate flood of people opening up their businesses in
Missouri.
in Missouri.
I mean, hey, like as a state that probably needs the cash inflow from legal resources, yeah, they could probably use
Florida
it.
was rumored to be floating that idea around, and I know it's come up on the greater scale. Like even Trump, I think, kicked that around and teased that out there at some point. Look, I'm not necessarily opposed to paying tax, but it just can't be a ripoff either. And I think that
absolutely.
The problem with Missouri, dude, like it's nice and everything that they are doing that, but like you're still dealing with federal capital gains tax, which is why, you know, people like Gav have gone out to, you know,
I've ignored it.
States.
Sorry, I ignored the fact that it's state, because I'm in Texas and there is no state taxes. So I'm just thinking about, you know, what I pay in my capital. I didn't even think about on the state level too. So the state's getting rid of capital gains tax there, is that what you're saying? Correct. But still the federal government's going to get you 40% or whatever it is.
Bingo.
Yeah, so you save the 4%. I mean, hey, anything.
Wait, look back at the screens, Togi, because you had this dead look in your face, like, yeah, we're done.
No, yeah, that's it. It just sucks. It's still good because now they don't have capital gains tax in Missouri, especially in regards to crypto. But at the same time, you still have to deal with everything at the federal level because
at the same time, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I need
but
to
you
start
gotta
thinking
take the
about that.
happy moments away. It's one battle at a time, you know?
That's the problem. If I decide to leave this state and move elsewhere,
Where you going?
more than likely I end up in a state with state tax.
Oh, Jesus.
And lots of it.
Jersey? Oh.
I'll need a new accountant.
You'll need a new bank account first.
You're not gonna need
less bank accounts.
You're not gonna need an accountant. You're gonna need a cook.
You need less bank accounts, more offshore crypto accounts,
more chickens, maybe a cow in the backyard.
Can't do that. Only here I could get some agricultural discounts if I add beehives and all random things. But no, I'm good. That's all I need is a tornado, or a hurricane to just hit a whole bunch of beehives right into my house. That would be my luck. The storms would come through and they would just take the beehives and just smash them right into my house. Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be like
honey to go.
like if Sharknado was a thing,
What do you
would
mean?
end up
It's
at my
not?
house. They would end up in my yard
Pretty sure it's a
from
thing.
the Gulf.
I
They
bet we
would
can
all
look
end
up
up
how many
here.
times a shark has been inside of a tornado.
Dude, there was a thing that like a bunch of random things were just falling out of the air a few years back.
That's right. There was fish falling out of the air. I forget what that was from. I forget what caused that to happen, but yeah.
Yeah, because it was a water spout over the water, lift fish into the air and deposit them all over the place. That's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It
it's
is highly
real.
unlikely and scientifically improbable for a shark to be caught in a tornado. So that's a
Eh.
bummer.
No, it happens.
That's
It can
a
still
bummer.
happen. If they pick up fish, shark is a fish.
They state that although no sharks have been reported,
Reported.
yeah, they have seen fish, frogs, alligators, snakes. Oh my!
Oh, there was a
There's
snake
so
one.
many terrifying. Could
Yeah.
you imagine like an alligator falling out of the sky?
Dude, there was a place where snakes were falling like really bad, like just littered everywhere, and people were going nutso.
Yikes!
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Sounds like
Wait.
Florida.
Did you? I wasn't aware of this. Blue federal tax is voluntary. Is this new?
Blue, we're watching you.
I'm not watching you at all, dude. Do whatever you want.
You literally just read his comment. You're watching.
I'm not watching him. I'm
Well,
listening
you're
to
gonna
him.
watch. Oh, did he say it out loud?
All right. So Scott, how's it going?
Things are good. No, I'm just checking out some of the other areas that we have the streams going and just testing the feeds and seeing.
You're still testing? We've been
Well,
at
not
it
really
for
testing. I'm
half
just
an
sort
hour.
of looking to see what the deal is, just to make sure things are still going.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean we're on all these different platforms now. It's and getting rugged was just a serious thorn in the side.
It's all good. It happens. It happens to the best
Especially
of
all the
us.
prep work you did. I like.
Yeah, someone's got to get this thing prepared. You know.
Huh.
I give Action a little bit of a pass because it's so early there.
Tomato,
Not really.
tomato. I'm sorry, it's a tomato, potato. It's a better one.
Start talking about food, and now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, because I was eating that nice piece of bread with butter right before we came on. You're like, oh, that looks so good.
Yeah.
It did. It was delicious.
Did actually look pretty good.
So, question about crypto and the markets here.
Question?
So earlier when things were pumping this morning, when I first woke up, and even really, well, it was very early. It was like 5 a.m. There was talks because of Trump and China, president of China there, having discussions in London, and everyone was hopeful markets might have pumped up a bit. I haven't heard much about that. Have you guys heard anything? Do we know if anything came out of those talks? I heard something about rare earth minerals and tied into that. I know we talked about that heavy a few weeks back. Now, obviously, China's not going to want to give up control with that, but I believe there was some sort of deal that might have just come up. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard any more. But with the time difference, it is sort of end of day there. So I wouldn't expect too much more news to come out. So
it doesn't look like they're releasing any of the new information.
No big announcements then that could shake markets right now then.
No, as of it looks like the last notable, like any real news that came out was around like 3 a.m. Eastern time. And that was just stating that the United States and Chinese delegations had already been meeting in London.
So they're talking about tariffs and trade and different things. So
yeah, the two countries announced on May 12th they'd agreed to a 90-day suspension of most of the 100% plus tariffs imposed on each other. The other one, since then, U.S. and China have exchanged angry words over advanced semiconductors that power artificial intelligence, rare earths that are vital to car makers and other industries, and visas for Chinese students at American universities, which has actually been a pretty big one.
I think China's big leverage is with their raw materials there, and semiconductor market. And although business is being brought to the United States, at least there's nothing explosive that came out of a conversation today. Like no one walked away from there and was like, we're doing like Trump doing, how he has shock value. We're going to do this or that. I almost feel like
wait,
nothing,
what do you mean?
No
like,
news coming out of this.
Why are you talking about Trump like that?
I almost feel like no news here is better than is the best situation we can have.
Yeah, but like why are you saying that about Trump? Is that how you feel about him?
So we could do what Action does too, because I know how to use the buttons and remove him when he's talking about not Trump. The topic.
Yeah,
really.
That is on topic. What are you talking about? We just had a little.
Anyways, as we were saying here, no news coming out of that conversation is probably better than some explosive news, which is usually what we do get on one way or the other. Let's see if Action will behave. All right.
Wasn't there a discussion that blew up on X over this stuff?
Nope.
Don't think so.
Are you guys joking? This was all it was last week. Are you like this was like my only source of entertainment? Because if I look at crypto, I want to cry. So I was literally watching Elon Trump going at it with one another and just like laughing my butt off.
Don't worry, they talked it out.
No, they talked it. I mean, they didn't talk it out
with the rest of America. So everything that they said is still out there, and the sides have been.
It's because you have two big egos. You have two big egos, so I don't think anyone's gonna make the move and come forward and say I was wrong or this or that. It's just sort of gonna, like most things, get forgotten about by the next thing.
You don't think the president is gonna come out and say, yes, guys, the list is not coming out because I'm on it?
I don't think.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I don't think that they're trying to address a lot of this stuff, and they're just trying to move on from the argument and the stuff that's included in it. And we'll have something else that takes more of
news cycles, right? Like that's the thing that people forget about.
Disappeared. I mean, didn't make it all the way.
We're all on YouTube. Just FYI, Toki. That's why I'm watching my words carefully. Just remember that.
I am repeatedly stopping from continuing the sentence because I also keep realizing they were on YouTube.
Yeah, we're pushing out to YouTube.
They're gone now.
Places now, so everyone needs to behave. But today, like I was saying, I think that no news with the China and Trump conversation is good. We could have got some crazy tariff news and then reverse this 108K that we see here in Bitcoin. So I think we're gonna maybe dodge that for now.
Watch, Trump's gonna come out in 20 minutes and say that
he very well
30 days been canceled.
There could be this could easily go sour very quickly, as we know. And one thing I'll bring and I'll tie into this. I don't know if we discussed it yesterday on stream or if this is more of a conversation I was having in Telegram, but I saw somewhere that Trump and his family brought in close to $1 billion from crypto in the last 9 months, not even a year. They were calculating the last 9 months, right? They're saying it's more than any of his real estate investments, and it's more than Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago combined, put together. That's how much money they have. I don't want to say invested, but it's invested or extracted or brought there. They see that there's generational wealth.
Such different explanations. Is it they brought in, they extracted, or
no,
they explain what you mean here?
They've made over $1 billion in crypto, is what was said. So now,
realized or unrealized? That's the other question, because I am quite a whale, an unrealized whale. Because if I try to realize those gains, I'm totally cooked.
I'm sure there's realized gains there. There's been, I don't know. Everyone looks at the market. You see different tweets, not just by the president, but by lots of high profile people, and the market kind of makes its moves. There's lots of other people that are ready to capitalize on that are trading on that know that some of these things are even coming. And not saying that's the case here, but in such a short time, for someone who was not supportive of crypto, say last cycle, to now be that much up, it shows that I think that they're looking at generational wealth to be made. They're definitely taking advantage of it, and it's pushing the country. It's good for us too because we're in early, but on a greater, because we'll
Are you talking about the Trump family and
coattails.
generational wealth?
Yeah, we'll ride the coattails.
You said there's
here.
Generational wealth to be made. They're using generational wealth to just keep on expanding it.
I feel that the reason
a
lot of people have embraced crypto is that weren't before, is they see how much money can be made and how it could make generational wealth. And it's not hard to see that tweets and other things, statements and stuff that has been made, or showing up at conferences and talking positive about Bitcoin from a government level, from that sort of thing, moves markets. So people are taking advantage of it, including those who are
having multiple
those
world
statements.
leaders be involved with meme coins is a very interesting play forward here.
Well,
Okay,
that was
you guys
that was
gotta,
another thing
stop
brought up
saying
about Trump's
interesting.
meme coin.
It's either good or it's bad. Don't give me interesting.
I don't think it's a good thing that all of these high-end political figures are getting involved with meme coins.
So meme coins, separate topic. Bitcoin and what's been happening, good overall,
Bitcoin,
for regulations. Obviously, people are manipulating this. We're in early. We're going to ride the coattails. For other people trying to get in, as the price goes up, if it's manipulated, they could get, it's next to impossible, and they could get stomped out. They could get discouraged. This is going to happen across the board. Also, though, with as far as the Trump and making $1 billion, the part of it that was tied into this that I saw was about his meme coin. And they were saying that this is a way that he could continue to extract hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars going forward. And only very little has to be done and attached to that meme coin. Another dinner, another, something along those lines. And it will continue to be like a donation, like a donation channel in a sense. People will be buying into the token. I don't want to say they're just giving their money away.
You mean a cash grab?
They're saying that it's going to be a solid revenue stream for him. And, I always thought that the token, I more view it as like, you see a collectible coin at night on those late night TV shows. Like, you get to be part of something with your collectible coin for $29.99. Yeah, commemorative
2025.
token. I feel like that. His meme token is sort of like that, but my point was that the video and conversation I saw was saying that that's going to be another just huge revenue channel that will continue to produce with little effort that he has to do. Now, look, I'm all for regulation. I mean, I'm all for positive regulations here, pushing crypto forward, moving the needle forward, and getting some structure. I understand that people are going to abuse that along the way, and we're seeing it from the highest side. Yeah, every side, and the most powerful people in the world. I'm glad to have already have my little piece and continue to try to get it, because it's gonna get a lot harder as prices go up, especially in Bitcoin.
No, Toki, you need to watch the right channel, because AU is gold, not silver. So there's something wrong there.
No, my brain tried.
Scammed. You're getting scammed.
No, it wasn't a good one. I tried to fix it, and I was like, never mind. That was a big old yikes on my end. I said it, and I was like, oh wait, that was gold.
What's silver?
For a second there, I thought it was AG, but now I'm not sure.
It is AG.
Oh, so I did correct myself correctly.
I didn't hear you.
I did say AG after the fact,
yeah. We're screwed. We're just cooked, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I think summer is going to suck, and then we're going to pick things up at the end of the summer going into the fall. It's just where I'm at.
We're
So
going
a
like
normal
we're going
cycle?
depressive day. Is that what we're
It's
doing
not
right now?
depressive. It's just
Normal.
facts. Like right now,
Cyclical.
like seriously, I'm not gonna focus on trying to trade all these things. I'm gonna accumulate as much as I possibly can and know that I'm gonna live like a poor person this summer. I don't know what else to say. I'm not spending anything this summer. I'm
I'm
gonna
kind
try
of
to.
living like a poor
FE, by
person
the
right
way.
now.
FE.
Well, I always live like a. Well, I never live like a poor person.
mean,
I
I
got
put-
chickens and plenty of trees, so like everything is happy day, happy go lucky. Doesn't matter what's going on.
Everything's pretty much going into crypto and various investments, and I just
Yeah.
live on the basic of just getting the bills done right now because I understand that you know the days of $10,000, $20,000 Bitcoin, $3,000, $100, $500 Ethereum. These days are long gone on some of these more established tokens, and especially Bitcoin. And even okay, let's just say it takes 5-10 years to 10x from here. That's still going to beat out any other asset class, period. Altcoins, I feel a lot of them, there's a lot of people like, you start a business and your business just doesn't, it fails. Like, you go out of business. I think that a lot of altcoins get to stick around a lot longer than they should because of this speculative market and everyone thinking that things will pump when the bull market comes. So I don't know. I'm more bullish than ever on Bitcoin and that being a solid store of value that's still going to get to produce and will become less volatile as we go. And I'm going to start shifting my portfolio this cycle more back into Bitcoin and go heavier than 50, go heavier than 50%, probably try to get it closer to 75 or 80%. The hard thing, and I think a lot of people are thinking this as well, is when to sell some of these altcoins and
never we write it up and down.
When to scale out. I think that
it's so painful because I feel like I just did that again with one, and it's just like it's rough.
I think everyone feels like they did that with Solana just recently when it was at 100 to 300 to 100.
True.
And you're talking in a course of less than 6 months. You could have tripled your money. You could have 2 or 3x your money, no problem. And even on a trading level,
I don't want to know.
Except I think a few of our alts will be explosive. We'll clearly see that, and you'll have to scale out according to how fast it's going up. So you don't fully round trip it. Some of these other ones that don't start moving when you see some of our other alts and people talking about alts and start, money start going back there. Unfortunately, we might have to cut our losses on some.
If it comes to RWAs as far as alts go, I do give credence there because there are some genuinely good products.
Okay,
even like with the question below, anyone tokenized iron? I haven't found iron itself.
Iron is not
found
really
steel.
Yeah, I don't think iron is worth it. I mean, the price of iron is way. Sorry, I know too much about commodities.
I know,
it's way low. Like, and it hasn't been in a good trajectory lately. It's literally going down, not up, right?
But high purity steel is different.
That's completely different, exactly. But like, as far as iron ore is concerned, like you're doing less than $100 right now. When back, less than 5 years ago, 2021, we had like all-time highs at over $220. So like, we're down over 50% from highs, and the trajectory doesn't look good. There's just too much of it available, basically.
Toki, you're saying RWA?
Yeah, RWAs as a whole.
So,
I believe that they're just going to be like one of the most influential because they have so much growth potential. Even right now,
we're say RWA is going to be huge.
Okay.
Let's just say that leads the charge, right?
Okay.
So which altcoins are the main altcoins would we see movement because of RWA? Where's the majority of RWA plays do you think are starting to go towards? There's not a lot, or where do you think it'll really explode from? Because I feel like those are the tokens that we'll see move because of that movement. Whoever's going to provide the best, chain or ecosystem in order to look up. Action was starting to get choppy with this internet and going potato over there a bit.
You were a little potatoey earlier when you first joined, but I get what you're saying, Scott. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, just because RWAs does encompass everything. Like the good RWAs are going to be the ones that actually bring revenue on chain instead of just extracting value, because everyone keeps trying to say we're going to do an RWA, and it's like we're actually just fundraising here, guys. That's all this is. So people that are actually not extracting from crypto, but instead bringing value in, I think is going to be a very, very good use of that type of thing. Commodity is still such a small, tiny percentage of that market, but you need to take in consideration that when you're dealing with commodities, you're not dealing with assets that are going to pump overnight. It's just not it. I like commodities on chain because it allows people to trade it 24 hours a day. It lowers the barrier to entry for a lot of people. I think it's a good thing. It's one of those more stable assets that I am looking to hold. I mean, a lot of my stock assets were into lithium and things of that nature. Well, companies that are investing in lithium mines and things like that. So if I can get commodities on chain, I'd much rather do that. But it's not going to be your moonshot. It's just not what commodities are, unfortunately. Plenty of money to be made, but
Do you mind if I switch over to my screen? I'll show you guys something.
Sure, go for it.
Perfect.
You got to share that screen first.
You gotta have it set up first.
Yeah, I thought it was already sharing the way I wanted it to. It wasn't.
But you're gonna see out there, as far as RWA is concerned, a lot of tokenization of things that already exist, right? Like bonds. I'm 100% expecting some of those things to actually show up on the market. The problem is that even when they talk about RWAs, a lot of it's not actually going to be tradable by the general public, even though that's part of the claim, which is kind of crazy to think about. What do you got there, Toki?
All right. So here, I'm actually going to zoom it in a little bit more for everyone, so you can actually see all the different blockchains that I'm talking about right now.
Make that screen wider so we can see a little bit better. Yeah.
All right. So here's the RWA league table. This is the top 10. I'm sure I can exclude stablecoins if you want me to.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Look at Polygon.
Oh wow, yeah. So if you take away,
look how much counts on there, 492, but the value is the least out of the top 10.
Oh yeah.
So it shows you how probably it was very enticing or easy to do something there, but it was probably more like Action was saying, more people trying to fundraise to get things going, and nothing actually is moving. I hate to categorize that, but you see such a high number and very low on your value.
Why are you being so negative today, Scott?
This is without the stablecoins included, and even right from the top, you can see Ethereum is 59.35% of the market share. So just absolutely massive RWA zone right there.
Do me a favor, click on include stablecoins. I just want to see the difference on Ethereum.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't bring it down by much.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
Really
all it does is insert Tron there. Look.
It brings it down by
look at a total value, bro. Like that's pretty big.
Oh yeah, no, it adds a lot of value.
Oh no, yeah,
most of the value is
stablecoins. That's why
market share is down. Like if you include them, the market share is down. But if
ETH is
up,
1,
the other way.
ZK Sync Era as 2, include stablecoins, and ZK Sync Era is now number 8. Because of all the stablecoins in between.
Yeah, because the ZK Sync is not really doing any stables. Tron, freaking huge for stables. Everybody wants to send money back and forth on Tron. This is just how it works.
And then you have Solana, Arbitrum, Binance Smart Chain, Base, and Avalanche, where again, you're going to see a bunch of different stables working out, essentially, adding to the whole entire queue of it all. So
yeah, it's all stables, dude. I'm sorry to say, but like most of quote unquote RWAs are stables. Yeah, let's get rid of it and look at it.
Yeah, of course.
Could you is there a way to show more than 10?
That's a premium service, sir.
Or to search?
Yeah, I can search.
Search for
you can search, you can break down by
login required.
I told you.
No, I was just curious where Sui is on this.
It's not.
Well, obviously it's not in 10, but maybe it's got to be on there somewhere. I mean, I would think.
And there's Ondo.
So RWA value on Sui is 17.58 million.
Ondo again.
Good Circle. What's Circle's, out of curiosity, what's their stock price right now?
Well, their market cap. Look at that. 389 million. I don't know if it's going to show me any more crypto.
But Scott, like, how is Sui supposed to show up if they're only at 17.58?
So I'm not looking at the screen right now.
The only thing that Sui has listed as
they probably don't have
asset,
many projects on there.
The only thing they have it on there is on the US dollar yield.
That's it?
That is the only asset they have listed on Sui.
Okay, so yes, Sui has 17.58 million.
That's what I said.
115
USDY
Circle.
listed. And Ondo on the table.
Oh, sorry. Speaking about Ondo,
Oh,
Toki,
boy.
why don't you pull up your tweet? Well,
Yeah, you
we're
should
gonna have
pull up
J
that
Chains
tweet.
on one of these days because he's knows a ton about Ondo, and he's a huge fan and holder. I actually have a small bag of Ondo, but while your screen shared, you should pull up your Twitter and show your last tweet, which is pretty related to Ondo. You can see the brains behind the project, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think this was last week. These two guys spent about an hour trying to figure out which cartoon the CEO and founder, I guess, of Ondo is, and they found him.
You want to take full credit for this one, Toki?
Didn't you?
I
find him,
think
you
this
made
was
the image?
a fair journey because
You both spent a clear hour.
I had actually given up on American Dad as an option, and you were like, nah, I think you should go back. And I just started scrolling through all of the characters that
And
had
now-
glasses.
Now you will.
My
no one
favorite.
will forget this.
What is even Ondo?
No.
Well, this guy here could tell us a lot about Ondo. Toki, break it down. Break down Ondo. This is your spotlight right now since you made this meme. We're going to throw the ball your way.
Oh man, yeah. Have me break down Ondo. So
Well, not break down Ondo. I mean, you just give an overview if you want.
Quickest
Big RWA
overview
card.
is they are putting a massive amount of funds up against U.S. Treasuries. It seems as though it's a quote-unquote more safe bet in comparison to some of the other ones that are out there. I don't know how true or false that is right now, but quite frankly, they're getting a lot of good support.
From
a
who?
lot of good coverage. I mean, J Chains.
They're getting a lot of people are talking about Ondo across the board.
No, I've seen more than just J Chains. I've also seen AJ Rives Crypto, and there was even who was the other person that was in our one group chat talking about it? I can't remember off the top of my head. It might have been Adam saying something wild during a space, quite frankly.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
this.
You still didn't tell me what Ondo is, though.
Ondo is a U.S. Treasuries play. That's what they're backed by. The USDY.
Hey, what's up?
This is
But it's
Zach.
not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a
How
hive.
do you know he did not understand? Ladies and gentlemen,
Rebecca's Genzio Media House.
Oswald, thanks so much for joining us today.